Hi everyone and welcome to our channel. Today there will be lots of touching videos capturing the emotional and unexpected return of soldiers home to their loved ones after a long parting. In this video, we'll witness the heartbreaking surprise returns of soldiers reunited with their wives and children after serving overseas. We will see how students greet their favorite teacher who returned from Afghanistan, how Ukrainian soldiers are greeted when they return home after bloody battles at the front, and how an American soldier asked Ellen DeGeneres to interview his girlfriend live. So sit back, grab a napkin, and let's celebrate the brave men and women who serve our country and the families who support them. Let's get the show on the road. The touching return of a military pilot who came back home after protracted and dangerous battles. As we can see, no one expected the young fighter to get back, so it was a real surprise for them. See how his loved ones are excited at his unexpected arrival and shed tears of joy. And his mother, not believing her eyes, says, "Oh my God," several dozen times. Only the friend who is filming everything knew about his arrival and is now giggling behind the camera. A soldier who has been in trouble can finally become a son, husband, and father in the circle of his loved ones. And here is a Navy SEAL, Marin, who was able to escape home for a while to come to his sister's wedding. The beloved girl did not expect to see Marin on this important day for her, but as we see, they have smiles on their faces, albeit with tears. A young soldier who was in a hot spot was wounded and treated for a long time. And when his wounds completely healed, he decided to make a little surprise for his younger sister, who worried about him every day. As a result, these are the emotions we see when he meets her after school. We see shock mixed with joy on her face because the girl understands that her brother is safe now. How could you greet your brother who risks his life every day while on the job? I am about the same as these two sisters, who didn't see the face of their own brother for a long time. This proves that no matter how much sisters and brothers swear, they remain relatives and loved ones to each other, and we have a chance to see this pure happiness. And here is a really unusual story of two twins and a stepfather. Maria and Michaela are like two drops of water who never parted from each other. In their freshman year, the talented girls decided to become cheerleaders for the Mizzou team. But they didn't know about the endless surprises during their matches. These two cute girls are raised not by their father, but by Cody's stepfather. In 2013, he had to go to Afghanistan because he was in the US Army Reserve. And after a long absence, he made the girls the first but not the last surprise right during their performance. And we see the little cheerleaders hug him and call him Dad. On November 11, 2017, when Cody was back on the battlefield, he asked the girls' coach to play a Veterans Day congratulatory video. But this is not the end of the surprises. On March 3, 2018, after a 10-month separation, Cody again unexpectedly returned home and immediately visited the girls who were performing. Write in the comments your guesses where the next surprise for these girls will be and what it'll be. This is the real Christmas present that even the Grinch cannot steal. This time, the brother returned home for the holidays and came unannounced to his sister's training. Here is real proof that when we are emotional, we are not in control of our body. She probably didn't even realize how she found herself in her brother's arms so quickly. And here we have another cheerleader who got the best surprise ever. The father, who had been in Afghanistan for a long time and commanded fighters there, returned home to remember what it means to be a dad for a daughter. To do this, he came to the stadium where she was cheerleading and ruined the team photo. Finally, the daughter can hug her father again. But her boyfriends now need to understand what will happen to them if they offend her. How to make the whole class cry? Correctly show the crying boy who saw his military father. A US Army soldier returned home and wanted to surprise his son right at school. At first, the boy didn't even understand who was sitting in front of him, but then he had a smile and tears of joy on his face. And don't say that real men don't cry. Drew Olson, a history teacher at Northridge High School in Layton, Utah, was posted to Afghanistan. However, the students didn't forget about him even during his absence. They took it upon themselves to send him packages and greeting cards, despite the fact that he was a 32-year-old teacher and coach of the football and basketball team. Consequently, when Olsen was informed that he was coming home early, he decided to give his students the biggest surprise of their lives. Drew told the reporters that that was a special moment in his life, which he would never forget. Sergeant and mother in one bottle. Jen Zabrowski came up with an unusual surprise for her son. After a long service at Middle East, she arrived at McKinley High School and changed into a leopard costume. And while the son was eating in the dining room, suspecting nothing, his mother sat down next to him and took off his mask. Just listen to the sweet "oh" from everyone present as they hugged. Alabama soldier Sergeant Desiree Lanzi, who served for a year, surprised her son at school with a touching homecoming. She cleverly disguised herself as the school mascot, the eagle. As she removed the top of her suit, her son, Cal Lancy, ran towards her. Both the teachers and the soldiers' family were surprised, which brought tears to the eyes of the other students watching the emotional reunion of mother and son. I think the boy has a favorite bird now. That's what it means, family above all. Evan Toretto needs to learn from his father. Despite the fact that the man had a business meeting, he immediately forgot about it when his own son, who managed to return earlier, burst into his office. The man forgot about the meeting because the main job is fatherhood. And again, the father made a surprise to his son. An 8th grader who was supposed to be awarded for good studies at his school saw his father, who had been in Afghanistan for a year, come into the hall. It is clear that the boy immediately forgot about the award because the real prize was right in front of him, waving. 2022 has become a decisive year for the Ukrainian people. Either they will stand against the army of darkness, or they will be swallowed up by it and will forget for a long time what freedom and democracy is. And here on the camera is one of those who began to fight for their freedom and their relatives. The young soldier, after long battles, was able to return to the deoccupied village where his grandparents live. The old people were speechless. Grandmother lost consciousness for a second, but her grandson held her in his arms after a long parting. Touching moments straight from Ukraine don't leave our selection. Father was allowed to go home for a few days after heavy battles at the front. See how the son meets him. It is terrible to imagine what this baby feels every day when his dad is not at home. Even the dog is jumping for joy. And here is a really incredible event. The long-awaited reunion of lovers took place right on the TV show with Ellen. The military asked Ellen to read his letter right during the broadcast, where it was said that his girlfriend was an ardent fan of the presenter. After that, Ellen invited the girl to the chair where all the celebrities were sitting and made a short interview with her. But if you thought it was all a surprise, then it is not. A few minutes later, a soldier, Noah Copeland, took the stage with a bouquet of flowers and a shiny military suit. He arrived a few weeks early to hug his beloved. Is it only me thinking that a guy would jump out of a branded box on his girlfriend? What do you reckon is better, my version or still Noah's romantic exit? Ukrainian soldiers are not only skilled warriors but also great romantics who can surprise their loved ones. The soldier, who spent several months in the hottest spots, was able to return to his hometown for a while. Without warning his girlfriend of his return, he tracked her down the street and presented her with a bouquet of flowers. See how the girl jumped on him with happiness and hugged him with a strong grip. And here is a very funny video. A soldier of the armed forces of Ukraine returned from the front late at night and went to his sleeping son. The latter woke up and quickly hugged his father, but in the morning, when the boy was getting ready for school, he told his mother that he dreamed that his father returned home, not remembering that it really was. And the child was very surprised when his mom showed the sleeping dad in another room. This is how dreams can sometimes come true. This unbridled joy and emotion of the unexpected reunion of an American soldier and his girlfriend makes me cry. The soldier served a year in Kuwait, separated from his loved ones and risking his life for his country. When his girlfriend takes center stage as a cheerleader at Philadelphia 76ers game, she is ultimately unaware of the surprise that is about to unfold. Suddenly, her eyes widen as she spots her uniformed boyfriend walking towards her across the court. Overwhelmed with emotion, she rushes to him, hugging him tightly. Cody Lucas, communications advisor for the 1st Security Assistance Brigade, returned from Afghanistan back to his hometown. He decided to surprise his son, who was doing his first year at college. When the son was preparing for an important football match, the father suddenly stood in front of him. The freshman didn't even understand what happened, but immediately hugged his father. I think the guy now has a huge motivation to win the cup. In this touching video, we see a Ukrainian soldier returning from the battlefield, seeking to be reunited with his beloved daughter. When he approaches her with a bouquet of bright flowers and a small toy, the anticipation in his eyes is palpable. The daughter, unaware of her father's return, is at first taken aback and confused, but when he realizes who is standing in front of her, an expression of pure joy appears on her face. The little girl clung to her father, refusing to let him go, as if trying to catch up. Her father holds her tightly, cherishing every moment of the long-awaited reunion. And how do you like such underwater chaps? Hiram Bronson, an American soldier who was in Afghanistan for 6 months, returned to his family on a very unusual way. While they were relaxing on the beach and swimming in the ocean, Hiram swam up behind them in scuba gear and surprised them. Even the wife at first didn't understand who it was, not to mention the children, but then the little baby swam up to hug her father. We've come to the end. I've used up my entire supply of tissues today because of these videos, but it was worth it. Write in the comments on which video you sobbed the most, and also suggest the next topic that you would like to see in our videos. Like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the most interesting videos. Well, that's all for today. I went for new napkins.